Bonjour, Kinamagan and Ireland and Dishnikas, and welcome to this overview of our Week 26 learning plan. I want to begin this video by just letting you know, as you probably already are aware, there is no school this morning on Friday, February 25th, due to inclement weather. We'll begin today's episode within the classroom stream page. As you can see the note about there being no school today for students who are logging in hopes of finding a Zoom to watch. There is none. Not a lot new here. You'll see that the easily contact me is found right here. Last week's overview, most recent newsletter. There'll be a new one coming up in the new week. And you'll also see an updated breakfast and lunch menu coming ASAP. I do not have access to that at this moment. So you may see a separate email and then it'll be sent home on Monday. There was a field trip scheduled today, February 25th, to Shepherd Middle School, in addition to a field trip that was scheduled on Wednesday to Mount Pleasant Middle School. We will be rescheduling both of those. Information on that will come to you as soon as I have it. So you may be asking yourself, what can my student do because they're bored and they've been stuck inside for a couple days now? One thing I'd like to point out is the presence on our classwork tab of the 5th grade Padlet. It's under classroom links and you can click on it. For students, it is an opportunity to find quick access to things like ST Math or Khan Academy if there's something they know they're struggling with. Multiplication Math Trainer, Prodigy for students who enjoy that. Times tables, which is always an area we could work on. They can access reading rooms at Reading A to Z where they can read things at their level and take quick quizzes on it. There's access to Michigan's electronic library. Epic, most students have an account for. Let's go up here. We also have code.org. Students tend to enjoy this resource, and typing.com or NitroType. Room Recess has a lot of learning games. Map Skills, we were due to roll out in the most recent week. Due to the snow days, students do not have their logins. You could email me if a student really wants to get in on that, and I could reply with login and password. Duolingo is a favorite of students. It was actually once recommended to me by a student, but it gives you students opportunity to choose the language to learn, and there's kind of choose your own adventure feel to it. I don't assign things in there, but it's something they could choose to do. Now, let's look at our learning plan for this coming week, which, as you may be aware, is always open to adjustments, and surely that'll be a thing here in upcoming period of time. You'll notice that we have the 2nd and 3rd rated reading, but not the 1st. Being we had a one-day school week, we'll continue on with that story. We're going to spend a little time in Scholastic and then do a little assessment and informational reading. Writing, we're going to continue to work on wrapping up Unit 3B. Math, everything just pretty much got pushed back. We're going to continue with adding and subtracting fractions. Science, we'll do Science Bin. That is an online component and physical magazine that they can have in their hands. Then we'll continue Mystery 5, which we began last week. And we'll just end the week with Science A to Z. Social Studies, we'll continue looking at the Declaration of Independence and our American fight for independence from Great Britain. Math review and enrichment, we pushed a few things back, and then we're going to do a spiral quiz. You're going to see I split it into 3 parts because these aren't long chunks of time that we have available, but to kind of give me an idea of where students are at on different math skills that we've covered throughout the year. Areas where students are struggling, we will spend a little bit of time between now and the end of the quarter, trying to make sure that students are developing those skills and gaining an understanding of how to apply their knowledge. Areas that they do well on, we put a 3 on the report card because they were already showing those skills. Tech, it's going to look a lot like last week because we did not get to the Quest 8 on Tuesday, and that was our only school day. One area that I already can see that there'll be an adjustment under web is I will be breaking out map skills. I'm not sure if it'll be Tuesday or Thursday. That'll be added to this final draft before I post it in the Google Classroom. Some things there, Legends of Learning has some really interesting stuff. We have a lesson coming up actually based on math instead of science on division to see if that'll help some students out. Citizenship, we're going to keep the same questions as we did this past week because we only had 1 day. So that'll kind of push back my planning, but the students always have access to practice previous questions. And on that Padlet, there was a link to being able to watch little videos on different questions. I do always recommend reading for 20 minutes. We do put it in our regular schedule, and it's something that's really good to do at home. Words Their Way, we will keep the same list of words or whatever activity they were on this past week. That'll continue with the 1 day week. I know 1 or 2 students really enjoy it and may already have it completed, but for the majority of the students, give them a chance to complete that. Our math and reading groups were held during class, and Quill is a resource that we use to teach grammar as a whole group. Finally, you'll see social studies spiral at the bottom of that page. That's one area I use to kind of touch back on things that they didn't earn a 3 on in previous quarters, trying to make sure that our students have as much knowledge as possible before we send them off to middle school. Again, there is the possibility that 1 or both of these field trips that were scheduled this past week would be rescheduled for this coming week. When that happens, or if that happens, I should say, I will send that information to you all in an email, and I will make the necessary adjustments on these documents. As always, there is a link to email me if you have any questions. Oops. Hope everyone has a safe and enjoyable weekend. I look forward to seeing our students back in class a little more than once a week. But for now, have a minogijigad, minwa, bamapi.